When your confidence is shot, there ain't nothing you can do about it. When your confidence is shot, there ain't nothing you can do about it. Oh, la, 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 no confidence. Look, I do not mean to sing R. Kelly, man. You know what I'm saying? Can't stand him. Made good music, but after what he did, I lost faith in him. But I had to sing that motherfucking song. For those of y'all that don't know that song, that's from originally is When a Woman's Fed Up. But in this case, man, Russell Westbrook, his confidence is shot. His confidence is truly shot. And you never in a million years would you even begin to think to say something like that about Russ. Um, 2 of 14, 2 of 14. I think 4 of 26 over the last couple of games. Confidence is gone. And look, he's you know Vogel even came out and defended him. I know a lot of people are like, why is Vogel coming out and defending him? Vogel, man, as much as people want to uh, try to put him in the category of this, hardcore coach or, Popovich type of mentality, that's not who he is. Matter of fact, Russell Westbrook was even more critical on himself more than anything. And he said flat out, I just can't make a fucking shot. You know what I'm saying? Well, yeah, we know that. But your confidence is shot. The confidence is shot. The inability to display a mental fortitude, unlike whatever you're not solid mentally anymore. Uh, him playing, look, and look, aside from LeBron, because I know that's what people think that I'm going with. They're gonna say, "Oh, well, he's playing with LeBron and all this other stuff. That's the reason." Okay, yeah, that a lot of that is true, but the microscope of LA, it's a whole different beat. Look, when he was in, let's take it back all the way to OKC. When you was at OKC, okay, yeah, he got national attention and everything, but the expectations in terms of what they expect, not every single night, shoot, every single fucking possession is different when you talk about Lakers basketball. It's gonna be judged each and every time. Then on top of that, you know, you're you go to Houston, you think things are you know, on the rise there and everything. Yeah, you were doing some of the stuff that you were doing over there and everything, but it still wasn't judged to the magnitude of what you're doing now, right? So then you take it to Washington when definitely, nobody's really going to pay attention to you over there because, they don't really see Washington as a place where, it's a media driven type of environment, right? And so then now you're in LA. Now you whether the Lakers are doing bad or whether they're doing good, LA is going to pay attention to every single fucking thing, both good and bad, that you do. And some guys don't have the mental toughness to withstand it. You know, LeBron was even hit with the harsh reality that, okay, now this is LA. We don't care what you have done when you were in Cleveland. We don't care what you have done when you're in Miami, right? You know, a lot of people think that I'm going to jump on here and come to the defense and come to the rescue uh, of Russell Westbrook. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. Look, you talking to the media, you telling people, I need to do this better, I need to do that better, anything like that. It's not making anything better. Matter of fact, it's making things worse. Look, if I'm you, I'm piping down, I'm doing one word answers. Look, you've always had not a not so great relationship with the media. So now guess what? What goes around comes around, buddy. And I know people gonna say, "Well, I thought you were a Russ fan. I thought you were riding for Russ." Look, it's like with the situation with AB, right? Don't get me wrong, man. I ride for you all day, but man, if you're not playing well, you're not putting forth the effort. You're making ill-advised decisions on the court. Nothing that you're doing is translating to wins, especially against teams in which you truly do need to win. And on top of that, you're uh, you're pretty much the fault of your own doing. There's no way that I could save you in this. There's no way that I could save you in this. Listen, everybody's mentality yesterday is that there is no way in hell that the um, the Kings should have beat the Lakers. That's pretty much what everybody's saying. They're saying that there's no way in hell that the Kings should have beat the Lakers. But guess what? The fact is that they did do it. Listen, every single night that the Lakers are playing, these guys, these young guys that are uh, under the age of 28, fresh, got young legs, uh, willing to sacrifice their body more so than a guy that's in their 30s. They're playing with reckless abandon, and more importantly, like I've said before, when I was talking about uh, Memphis, they're playing with not only a chip on their shoulder, they're playing to prove something, and they're playing to say, okay, look, these guys are already marking their calendar. You don't know it, but they do. These guys are already marking their calendar. They're already saying, okay, you know what? When I play this motherfucker Russell Westbrook, I'm gonna show this motherfucker that his time is up. When I play that motherfucker LeBron James, guess what? I'm gonna show him his time is up. When I play that motherfucker Carmelo Anthony, I'm gonna show him the time is up. It's the same for everybody. It's the same for everybody. You said these young teams are running others out the gym. What's up with it, Big Who? I see you've been a little quiet since the Clippers been receiving the bad news. Got to keep the same energy, baby. Got to keep that same energy, yo. Look, These young teams don't care who you are, what you've done, what you've accomplished, what's on your resume. Like Big Who said, these teams want to beat you. And for listen, believe it or not, some of these guys, that are winning, or some of these teams that are winning and everything. Listen, their mentality right might be like, you know what? Hey, we lost the season, but guess what? They high five me. You know why? Because they said they beat the shit out of the Lakers. And guess what they're gonna say? Well, there were four Hall of Famers on there. Well, yeah, well, Rondo's gone. And if you include Howard, yeah, we beat four Hall of Famers. That's what they're looking at. Look, man, I'm not gonna sit up here um and say, oh yeah, man, you know what I'm saying, that they it's a complete wash or anything like that. But this is a hole that you're gonna have to dig out of because you dug yourself into this hole yourself. While everybody criticizes Kevin Durant, KD, Harden, and Kyrie for putting and constructing the team together, hey, it's the same thing over here with LA too. Hey, y'all put it together. You got it over there. Now you got to figure it out. You got to figure it out. Y'all got to figure it out. Nobody's feeling sorry for the Lakers. You think they care about the Lakers winning or losing? No. And look, they won four straight. Look, when you won four straight, you should have just kept your mouth closed. That's just what I was saying about Philly. You win a couple straight. You win five straight. You win five straight. Just shut your mouth and keep on winning more. Look at Chicago. They shut their mouth and they kept winning more. You know. But see, y'all know y'all don't want to hear that. Y'all want to be loud about the shit. Y'all want to keep on going on and on. And that's when the teams are really gunning for you. Honestly, do you think that a team like this, a team like the Lakers, can honestly contend with a team in a 7-game series with the with the energy, not with the help with the refs, they could contend with a team like Memphis? You out your mind. With a young, hungry, up and coming team, Ja Morant. Do you think that they could compete with the top team in the Western Conference right now, which is Phoenix, who just took the number one spot? Absolutely not. Because the thing about it is that those teams that I mentioned, they actually play defense. Those teams actually play defense, and that's that. Listen, you see that's why, like, you know, I know Big Mike Rod was talking about the '96 Bulls and the Golden State Warriors, right? Now I don't remember what Golden State was ranked defensively. They obviously were a solid team because uh, Draymond was defensive player of the year. He was defensive player of the year. during that stretch of time, and then you also had Clay, and then you also had, a lot of people don't look at, you had Andre Iguodala, and you also had Bogut, and you also had Sean Livingston, who was a reliable defender late in his career, because of course, with the devastating injury that he had suffered, he really couldn't. He lost a lot of what he used to be able to do. But the reason why I bring that up is because everybody's talking about, oh yeah, well, Golden State would annihilate them, they would beat them and stuff like that. They wouldn't have a chance. No, they wouldn't. That's not the case. Because listen, let me tell you, they're gonna meet you right there when you play. Uh, when you go across that timeline, and that's why, like, listen, everybody sits up here and talks about, oh yeah, well, the rule changes and da 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 and all this other stuff. In either situation. Now, I will say this: the '96 Bulls, Michael Jordan, what he's always struggled with was players like a Reggie Miller caliber, who will run across the picks and stuff like that. That's why Reggie was able to get him so frustrated. Clay can move without the ball very good and is a catch and shoot type of player. Uh, and so is Steph. But it would be easy to go ahead and neutralize that. You know why? Because you have a terror in Dennis Rodman that does not mind running all over the place, running up and down, and getting physical. And stay with me. I'm going somewhere with this. And then you also have, of course, Scottie Pippen. You know, and then you also have, people forget about Ron Harper. I'm just talking about the '96 Bulls. Yo, the reason why I bring this up is because it all goes back to defending. Dog, you like Memphis, and I'm talking about the Grizzlies, the grit and grind back in the day. You're in a situation right now where you could actually be the grit and grind. You could just play really, really, really hard defense. Your offense, the offense ain't even all that bad, is what people make it seem. It's just that it's going to be, of course, looked at a lot because of the way that Russell Westbrook is struggling and stuff, and then of course how they look at LeBron and the whole stat pattern thing and everything, which um, Isaiah Thomas had already talked about that. He pretty much uh, he didn't seem to have any problem with it. Isaiah Thomas, and he made up Isaiah Thomas. Zeke had brought up a good point. He said basically that he's looking at LeBron, looking at the stats and stuff like that. Look, LeBron is not the only guy that has done that before. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I didn't really make a video about it or whatever. But I wish he wouldn't have did that though. For the simple fact that right now you don't need to be concerned about stats. You need to be worried about the win column, and even be worried about, okay, let's test ourselves to see if we can beat some of these upper echelon teams come playoff time. Because right now it's not even showing that you could beat the mediocre team. So to get back to what I was saying, your calling card right now has to be defense. And people are gonna be like, well, we don't have the personnel. You got personnel, like, dog. all of them guys that's on the. Can you truly, honestly name any of those guys on the Sacramento Kings? I mean, I can because I love basketball like that. Yeah, but you can't name any other guys. But guess what? Those are guys that are actually running, jumping, uh, contesting every shot, diving on the floor, like I said, boxing out, rebounding. You know what I'm saying? Because I think, from my understanding, they were tied in the rebounding column, but where they got their ass was points in the paint. So what does that show? That shows that they're not defending. They got beat points in the paint, 70 to 40. You know, as much as we want to sit up here and talk about offense, it don't have shit to do with that. Yes, do you need to make shots? Yeah, but um, you got to be able to stop. You got to be able to stop people. You got to be able to stop people. And the Lakers, they can't. They're unable to do that. We got to get to a point. Look, like the LDBC brothers have been saying, they suck. Well, let's get scientific. Let's get scientific as to why they really truly do suck. Let's get scientific. Because us saying that they trash, uh, they're garbage. You know what I'm saying? Let's get beyond that. Okay, look, I would come to the realization. Okay, look, we're not that talented. If you want to go ahead and say old and everything, what do you think the Dallas Mavericks did? They came to their senses and they said, "Look, we know that we're not athletic. We know that we can't jump out the gym, but guess what? We can outthink that." But not everybody probably has that mentality. Now, do I see the Lakers doing being a story, having a story Cinderella season to where it's like you go from worst to first? Shit, I doubt that will happen. But see, this is the thing. If the more that they come to the realization and say, you know what, we're not we may not be as talented or we may not be as youthful, but at least give an effort. I guarantee you they will win more games. Just like any other team. They they may not have they may not have the personnel like they truly need to. But there's a lot of teams that don't have a lot of personnel that you would look at and be like, okay, yeah, that person he's a that player he's a future Hall of Famer. He's a you know he's first team this or he's an All Star and all this other stuff. Listen, a lot of them guys. To be honest with you, on the Warriors, man, nobody was paying attention to them guys last year. Listen. They expected the Warriors to actually fail. They were so concerned about, oh yeah, when Clay comes back, when Clay come back, when Clay come back, when Clay come back. That's the only thing that they were saying. They wasn't taking Jordan Poole seriously. They damn sure wasn't taking Wiggins seriously. And Oubre, they looked at him as if he was a basket case, right? But guess what? Look at them now. They've been in the trenches with one another. They're still young. They still have an upside. On top of that, You know, they lost the game. They lost against Memphis and everything like that. But their whole mentality is like, okay, look, I'll be back next season. And see, that's why, like, you know, when it comes to Memphis or whatever, you know what John Moran thinking? Look, I got all the time in the world. You know what I'm saying? Look, hey, I can beat you now. I can beat you later. But one day this is gonna be. I'm gonna be king in this bitch. That's his whole mentality. So it's like, okay, shit, we just gonna play as hard as we can or whatever. We gonna show these motherfuckers that look, hey, uh, you know, y'all might sleep on us, but it's all good. We gonna give you a good fight. Lakers ain't thinking like that. Lakers are playing. Their whole body language is like, ah, well, oh well. You know what can we do? What can we do?